No, stop. Why is he cute?
Cola, black cherry, root beer, red pop, cream soda, grape, rock and rye, Dr. Fago, candy apple, 60/40, pineapple orange, chocolate cream pie, ginger ale, cotton candy.
No, chat, settle this right now. Dewey apparently thinks it's weird that I want to be around my friends and breathe the same air as them and breathe in their skin flakes and dust particles. Dewey thinks that this is abnormal. Correct them, chat. Correct them. Password is Dewey's wrong about skin particles. Is that with a capital? It's a good thing we have the same brain cell. Oh! They disconnected me. I'm in. We're about to get weird, chat. Oh, hi, Dapper. How's D&D going? Wait, why are you here instead of D&D? What are you doing? That wasn't part of the deal, pal. Ooh! A random Dwee spawned on top of me. Pocket Pandora. Two baddies and a gremlin. That's right. I know what I am, and it's a gremlin. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I love Buddy's bottles so much. Oh my god. I'm going to the game screen so that everybody else can see our goofy asses. I guess I can get rid of this Fujitech bullshit since we're all in 2 dimensions now. I don't know if they can hear you. I think I have to fix this.
Candy.
I'm fixing it.
Look at me.
Do we... Do I look like a joke to you?
No, that's me.
You look like a little sweetie.
You look like a little shit.
I'm sorry, I was baffled by that one. My flabbers were
I'll do it.
gasted,
Right on your
sis.
head.
Get the fuck off of me, bro.
Wait, is buddy don't poop on Dwee's head. That's not that's unseemly.
Right.
Is this good? Are we good down here at the bottom, chat? Is this good? Sorry, I just transferred all of my stuff over to a different thingy. So, now I gotta set everything up different.
Hold on, let me.
Is this shit gonna fucking gonna part? I love Kim Dracula. Oh, what do you mean by that?
Me?
Here you go.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
That's what I mean.
I sent you something in your chat.
Alright,
You
we saw
did.
it. We saw it. We saw it. We saw it. B, are you. Do you start yet?
No, I didn't start yet.
Okay, I'm trying to get my game to show up. It's not cooperating with me. Let me get this out of here. You leave. Oh wait, maybe because that is. No, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Hold on. Bop, bop, ba, da, bop, bop, ba, da, bop,
That
bop,
scared the
ba,
shit
da,
out of me. I
bop.
was like, hello?
What, me humming the intro to Dr. Worm?
No. It was, I had B's channel up, and, all I heard was somebody else's voice, and I was like, they're not here. What the fuck? B, you're mad. You're, like, not even on Candy's screen, bro.
Hold on. This might be a candy problem and not a bunny problem. Is this good enough, chat? Here, I can stand to scoot over a little bit if we need to, guys. I don't need to take up all this space.
Let me just be the little goblin between you both.
I can't stand you.
Just say that you want a Monster Girl sandwich and be done with it.
You won't hear me complain about that.
Quit beating around the bush.
Alright, let me start my stream.
Quit beating around the bush! I'm crying. I'm fucking crying. Hey, where's
My tail isn't hitting anybody. It's behind everyone because I have manners.
unlike me?
Well, it's not behind Audwey, to be fair. It's a little bit in front of Audwey where our blocking is a little weird. Leave me alone.
Alright, we're gonna just go like this, and we're gonna go like this. Yeah.
I'm just gonna start spawning in random stuff. Don't mind me.
Spawning in random stuff.
Yeah. Don't even worry about it. I got something for you.
The tree got their cookie.
Yeah. Got something for Bunny.
Oh, Guard got their cookies, and then we got their cookies. The cookie collection continues.
There
It
you go.
doesn't even matter because I still have more cookies than Guardian.
Yeah, there you go. Bunny, I need you to click your avatar so that you're in front of my wing. There you go. Do you like your little glasses?
My shades? I don't even know how you did that.
I told you I'm just gonna start spawning in random shit. Don't worry about it. I got something for Dwee too.
Hello.
What?
Don't worry about it.
What's going on, that genius? Oh, and Wolf's got their cookies. Enjoy your cookies.
Alright,
Don't let
let
the
me
others
see if
see
this
'em.
works. Hopefully I can stream this bullshit.
I do too.
Oh, are we in the Little Mermaid?
Something about it. It just tickles that fancy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else. Okay, never mind. It's
Yo, what?
It's so
Dwee.
goofy.
Yo, what? What are you getting at?
nothing.
Is Candy ever
What do
gonna
you
join
mean?
this lobby?
Oops, sorry. I got distracted trying to get trying to
No,
find this.
It's not today's vocal sting. Do not.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
I was doing important business.
That's literally us right now. Like,
Is-
I'm sorry. I got so distracted.
what is on my head right now?
The brain cell was lost today.
What? Listen.
It fell out.
I never claimed to be smart.
It wasn't your day to share the brain cell.
Nope. Somebody else got it today.
You know, we need to make like a Fizzy Pop Twitch channel for real.
How do we do that? We should make a YouTube archive. That way I don't have to archive my own shit.
I don't know how to do any of this, so
YouTube archive? I mean, we'd have to
I'm
make like a
just.
specific YouTube channel, then upload the VODs.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
then
We
we
should
could
make
have
a
like
Fizzy
Twitch.
Pop YouTube channel and then just that should be responsible for archiving my VODs instead of me because I don't want to be responsible for that.
I'm just the goblin voice in the background.
You don't know jack shit.
Rar.
I don't know how to do things. I can't be held responsible for my own success. I'm just a little guy. I don't want to be in here. I want to be a little goober. I'm so bad
Do
at
we have
finding
anybody
people.
else joining us?
Join chat or I'll throw bricks.
Oh,
Expert, you couldn't even follow the drawing regimen. I don't trust you to post VODs on a timely schedule.
let me
Like, no
pop that in the
offense.
back.
I'm fucking crying.
What?
This is the wrong account. Why am I here? I got distracted.
Yeah. So me.
Oops,
Yeah.
nope. I meant to do this.
Damage. Damage. That's 4.
My little blood bag. Oh no, I stepped in. I'm sorry, I stepped in front of you again, Bunny. I'm a menace. I'm sorry. I need to stop moving. Yep. My model is locked. I'm not moving it anymore. Oh no, Bunny, your glasses.
Alright, I reposted. I had to do it before I did any of the, before I even started streaming. Alright, there we go.
Nice try.
Damage.
Nice try, Goober. Pin the glasses on the bunny.
My glasses on the bunny.
Oh my god, my game just told me to go fuck myself.
Damage.
Is it working? I think it is. It might be.
I like that it lets me put other stuff on you guys, but like doesn't let me take it off you.
Oh, we'd have to throw it away. Or you'd have to throw it away. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What was I gonna do? I literally just had an idea. What was it? Oh yeah, I had to open up Mix It Up. Stupid ass. I'm so dumb.
What we doing?
I had to open up Mix It Up and I forgot.
Expert, get the game. Get the game so that you can play with us.
Hi
Quit being
Trey.
a big
Hey, welcome on in. You got first, so
doofus.
you get a kiss. Mwah. My game is like, I don't know what it is. I put everything on fucking low and it just tells me to go F myself.
Oh,
It's good for now, but like, you know. This is the new model. I have more multiple models. I just showed this one off last time I streamed, so I figured I'd just I figured I'd just show off the candy. I think did that hit candy more than me? I don't even. Yeah, you took
I'm not even
zero.
involved in this. I need to buy the throwable stuff, but I do not have the expendable fundage.
Okay, that's
My
fine.
car insurance is due, but I plan to get that next so that people can throw things at me. I know
That's fine.
expert will abuse this. Gee, you got second. You get a nose boop. My cat's not gonna be happy with me. Sorry, that was really weak the first time.
And I should have counted. Oh, Rose, hi.
Expert
I
abuses me.
got you.
This Guardian, we are pulling crazy shapes out here.
The dwee has been kissed.
B, you're like mad low on my
The
screen.
dwee
Hold
has
on.
been kissed, Rose. Sorry, I was making an announcement in my server.
Hold on.
See if we're getting anyone else to come in.
B, can you like move yourself up? You're like all you are is head and ears.
Huh?
All you are is head and ears on my screen.
Well, then fix it
Aw,
on your screen.
tiny.
That means you got us all too low.
Tú sabes qué?
Tú sabes qué. Mew, 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 mew.
Te voy a dar.
Oh no, what happened?
What's going on? Everybody's so tiny.
I turned around.
Yeah, I turned around.
Goodness gravy. And I locked my model in place, so I can't move it no more.
B is
Do
like
that.
so short. Look at.
I might need to unlock
It's
it.
short.
Oh, B, I need you to click your model one more time so that I'm not
No.
blocking you out.
No more.
I can't even
But I
bring
don't.
your
I
ass
want
up
people to be
here.
able to see you.
No.
You
I'm
know what?
hiding
Stay
now.
under
Why?
there. Stay under
What?
there. I don't give a fuck.
I don't need you to move yourself up. I just need you to click your model so that it's not behind my wings. There.
I don't give
Oh,
a shit. You can stay under there.
you know what? Good enough. Good enough. Nobody wanted to see my ugly mug anyway.
B, if you don't stop playing and get your ass up here.
Why don't you? Why
Where?
don't you try bribing her?
Love. Love.
Oh my God.
You gotta fix
I'm
yours.
ending it all.
You got it too low.
What do you mean?
Oh, everybody shrink. Let's go.
I just felt really left out.
I just felt really left out.
I felt left out.
I'm
I'm
fucking
gonna
crying.
scoot over here so B has more room. I'm like halfway out of the screen now. Well, I'm trying to accommodate B, but like I could be over here. Do you prefer this? I just got so much shit going on, man.
Hold on, hold on. I'm trying to.
Dos, tres, dos, tres.
Dewey, how tall are you?
Both of your streams.
Dos,
Me?
tres.
Yeah. Aren't you technically taller than me?
IRL?
No, like our
Okay,
models.
bro. Oh, our models? Yeah.
You're taller than me, so we need to fix this. I'm a little thing, a tiny little lady.
A tiny little lady?
I'm a tiny little lady.
Now, what am I?
I'm a pocket Pandora, and you're a deluxe dwee.
Deluxe dwee.
Shall we do a
Deluxe
quick one?
dwee.
Do a nice quick one with the four of us?
Yeah.
Do that. Oh, don't remind me. Fine.
Wait, did we merge chats and I just missed it?
No,
No, would you like to?
That's up to you guys. Whatever you want to do, Smiles.
I don't mind.
I'll throw up an invite real quick.
Okay, I just thought that I was dumb and not smart again.
Oh, I didn't realize my Discord audio wasn't even playing, so nobody heard anybody aside from me. I was just talking to myself.
String together,
Oh,
start a
Sizzle
string
will.
together. Oh, no, don't start staring chat. Invite the guest. The guests of honor.
God, man.
That's a lot of pressure. I don't have a lot of honor.
Game for college football, guys.
hacker voice. I'm in.
Tres, un, dos, tres. Un, dos, tres. Un, dos, tres.
Gang.
All right, chat.
Good job.
Don't be bad. Don't spread rabies. Don't bite the other chatters.
Don't spread rabies.
Look, okay, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want your chat to worry, but it's out there now, I guess. There's been a rabies outbreak at the Pandora's Box Carnival grounds, but it's all right. We have it under control.
How the fuck? Sorry?
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, we're good.
Candy.
Oh, you know what I could do?
Candy.
What?
Candy.
Look, somebody contracted rabies, and instead of being a reasonable individual, they went around biting everybody, and it's not the person that you would have thought would have been guilty of this.
It was you. Just
It was not me. I would never. I'm not even a rabbit. I can't get rabies. I'm made of glucose.
Just say it was you.
It wasn't me.
Sticks and stones.
For all we know, it was you. It was that filthy monk. How do we know that it wasn't that filthy cur that you brought into my carnival, Dusty?
Dusty? Listen, Dusty
Uh,
has nothing to do with this.
yeah. He's the one spreading rabies.
He was not even there.
Yes, he was. He was looking for you, and he started biting people. Expert almost lost an arm.
He doesn't even bite people.
He's
Cairo,
rabid.
yes, he probably would.
He's rabid. You gotta put him down. You gotta old yeller him. You gotta take him out back. Gotta take him out back. He's no good. He's infected. He's gone bad. Cujo. Oh my gosh. Guardian T posting to assert their dominance.
Why are you T-posing in front of me, bro? Why are two people gold?
How do I turn
Why
gold?
am I surrounded? Why am I surrounded? Who is that? Who is this?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Who?
Do a quick one.
Ah, shit, I clicked the wrong one. Who even is this?
The new map they just added.
No, this other gold person.
Oh, that's a guard's clone.
What the fuck is a
Cause
clone?
I take all your sticks.
I thought it was funnier when we didn't know.
I didn't even know.
Whoa, miracles, the Dark Carnival. Hold on.
I forgot about the pity. Oh no. So cynical.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god,
No one else is gonna move this city.
There's 67 seconds!
You good, bestie?
This is fucking garbage, bro.
You sound like you tweaking a little bit.
I am tweaking. Because I have nowhere to hide. Like,
Generic. No, that's not gonna work. Let's try something else.
oh.
Ah.
Fuck.
Ooh. We need to burn our umber a bit more, chat. There we go.
You know what? We'll leave it just like that.
Stop!
You know what? I have no confidence in my spot, but we're gonna give it a whirl.
Listen, we're doing our best out here.
I did it twice. Thank you, Mad Genius. We're giving it a try. We're giving it a good old attempt.
bro. I'm so fucking nervous. For the love of Jesus.
Think.
Yep, there we go.
Oh, oh,
It didn't last that
buddy, no.
Yo. Is this
It was
infection?
creative. That's all I got going.
You did great. You did great.
Is this infection?
Yes.
Damn it. So I can't see anybody else's fuck.
Let's go. Bright light to the night. Like a twice the nice, but up surprise.
Why does Guardian have two ass cheeks? Two red ones.
You're just now noticing
Two
this?
nipples.
Guardian's got the dumpy out.
He got the W.
Like a bright light to the night.
Mm-mm.
Just let me know if the music is too loud. Open up surprise.
Why?
I found a couch goblin.
I lasted a pretty long time though.
Don't know who is. Lasted longer than me, that's for sure.
I middled out. I'll take it.
I middled out.
I wasn't first. I wasn't last.
Would I become? Is the dwee hiding in paintings? Grave digger, no, grave digger. Go figure, go figure. Turns it out to be the grave digger, no, grave digger. Ooh, I have a great spot idea. I keep doing that. Oh, you can't actually get closer to the paintings. Oh.
Why were you just staring at it, bro? Why?
Because I didn't trust my eyes for a second.
Can right with me.
I was like, my dwee
I
sense
didn't
is
check that.
tingling.
Very good.
If I was a dwee, where would I be? And it's like, well, I was a couch goblin, and knowing dwee, they would be a couch cretin. So, you know.
To be the grave digger, no grave digger.
We share a brain cell. What can I say?
That was mad funny, bro. I was just watching you.
I was staring because I didn't want to waste a bullet and look like an idiot. I was like, but I see forms under this couch. Let me get a better
I have
angle.
to change my title. Oh shit. Wow, I did not.
Oh, Bunny, you're so funny.
Huh?
You're funny.
I didn't do anything.
That's all. I don't feel like changing it.
Your enthusiasm
Right.
is endearing.
My, what? Huh?
Your enthusiasm is endearing.
Try this map again.
I decided to impulsively put on my face serum right as you started this.
Oh wait, no! I didn't.
We are
I didn't
still
start
waiting
running.
for others. More to join. More.
Hello? How come I can't move? Oh, there it is.
And don't you forget it. Oh, don't you let him take control. Don't you let him take your soul. Let your door. It's just a shadow on the floor.
How do I get out of here? I'm stuck. I got stuck in the floor, guys. Guys, I got stuck in the wall. Oh no.
That's your spot now.
Never mind, we're good.
So that we went to the dance soon. Knowing it all, we're knowing it all. Don't think twice, you'll be dead in a second. Turn your eyes from your hands to the heavens. Curl your pride from your
Chat,
feet
this is
to
either
a
the biggest
weapon.
brain play of all time or I'm an idiot.
And don't you forget it.
I'm fucking crying.
I'm open to both possibilities. This is science.
The devil at your door. Just a
How?
shadow on the floor.
I don't understand. Okay, let's do this. Again. Tomato, tomato.
This could be the strat, or we could be dumb.
Is it yours?
Are we dead ass?
We're dead ass, man.
Not you. Probably we. I just feel stupid as hell. How come I can't see my dropper? It's annoying me.
Alright, oh my pink. Okay. I'm here. Ready or not, here I come. I looked into that already. Am I missing a spot? Of course I'm missing a spot. Right. Oh my goodness,
What? I don't like that. Whatever.
I'm gonna have to leave guard alone. I cannot see them. Yes, it is. Apparently I'm seeing guard, but I'm not seeing guard.
Apparently, I'm seeing cops and not.
I haven't even looked at the rest of the map. Guards that spawn somewhere and I cannot find them. Alright, you guys being couch goblins again?
Why would you accuse me of such things?
Mayonnaise on an escalator. It's going upstairs, so see
See you later.
Bye-bye.
To the sky.
Why are you just repeat that right now? B is not even seen on my screen, bro.
Brother.
It's mad funny. Your wing's still in front of her face.
actually just generally don't see anybody. Oh, I gotta find guard. Guard's proud of their spot.
Get him.
Holy fuck, what was that?
What was that?
I think that's guard baiting you.
Was that the whistle?
Oh! Why is it like that? The whistle. God damn.
Hmm. Hmm. Why don't you guys give me a whistle?
I did give you a whistle.
I don't know how, I'll be honest.
One.
I've been pressing one. Nothing's been happening.
I don't. Oh, no, can't. Hey, Andy.
Hi.
Where's your spot? Where the heck are you at?
I'm at the back of the gallery.
My spot was stupid.
No way! I looked under there too, but I took a quick glimpse.
I
Back
didn't
behind this couch.
even color myself or anything. I hung myself on the trim at the top of the gallery and stayed
I
there.
was very bad at that.
I was at the very back of the gallery where the ramen picture was.
Let's do that. Grab
Oh
a map.
my god.
This looks fun.
It's a lot of. It's a very small map, but there's a lot of stuff on it.
Let's hope it doesn't brick Louise' PC.
This fucking hole. Shit.
Brick it hard.
No.
I'm hungry.
There's food upstairs.
Is there?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I might have to go grab it.
And then my food is in the fridge.
You're gonna have to grab that.
I don't feel like it right now. I might just eat it. My mom's gonna have to.
Your mom's got company
Yes.
right now.
The pastor of the church is still here.
The Shining carpet.
Love at first sight, hospital line. That was the day I touched my life. With her little fingers felt in her mind. That's when I knew you and I'd be without you till the day that I die. Took care of you till the moment that I was
Let's get crazy with it.
I'm a big fan of pretending to be things that I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Just That won't work.
Who's the killer?
It's card. What is this flag that I'm getting in the chat?
Flag?
What flag?
I need to see the colors.
Feels to slip away. I don't know why I know that I can stay home. It's alright, I'll go home now, I won't go home.
Has been a mod for 4 years. Congratulations.
I'm dead, bro. Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god! He shoved it in his face. I didn't die.
Took like 45 tries.
Candy, were you hiding like in almost in the same spot as me, bro?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't notice.
I did not.
To be fair, I got there first.
Dude. He shot me 4 times.
Raining down my spine. Let's go home to cry.
Really good job on your spot, Bunny.
Supposed to. Alright, I'll go all night. I won't go home. It's alright, I'll go all night. Well, you know, I'll forget all my lows. Fuck around and lose control. And fast until my brain will slow down, slow down. Yeah, you know.
That's mad funny. I can't believe that. I really can't, bro. 4 fucking times it took.
Is there like an ammo limit?
Yeah.
No. Is there?
He gets 5 misses, and if he misses all 5, we win.
All you had to do was hold out. Do we SMH my head?
You're saying that like it's my fucking fault. Alright. I keep forgetting to put y'all streams in mod mode. Oh.
Get him with the jukes.
Oh no!
Break those motherfucking ankles.
Dude, why is my game running like ass? You're mad funny, bro. You're mad funny. You're mad funny. Where he at? I'm about to check. Oh, bro, yeah, he ain't finding you.
It's over. Bunny wins. Bunny, you are
Quick
such a
change.
menace.
For real, bro. Where you at, bro? Oh my god, you're mad funny. You're mad funny, bro.
Goofy ass.
That's beautiful.
It's despicable.
He's too short to see on the top shelf.
Crazy that.
No, I tried to run. He's gonna dupe him again. Cheater. Forgot. Womp womp. Could have been a ruse. I could have just debated you. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna completely debate you.
Jabate him.
You got debated. You know, I might need to like restart my game real quick because like
Okay, we'll wait for you. I'll go get some more water.
I'll grab a bite. Hold on.
damn, I'm
No
I'm
notification.
sorry, bro.
Yo, go outside and join us.
Sai, join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. What?
My code in your chat.
No.
Do it.
Can you fucking hold on? Why is my shit like? Oh yeah, that's right. You are working. I almost forgot. No worries. I mean, if we're still playing, I know. Listen.
Crying. This is clown on clown violence.
Oh yeah, you have to go to work tomorrow. I know. What? I don't know. I don't know. I really can't tell you. How come it does that? Where's my fucking eyedropper, bro? Oh! Do it later.
Or not eat at all.
Dude!
What?
There's still tacos in the fridge.
Huh?
There's still tacos in the fridge. There's still tacos in the fridge. Look, I'm giving you an option. If you don't want to go up there.
I am back, and I have hydration.
Drink it.
I did.
Glub, glub, glub. Glub, glub, glub.
Blub, blub, blub.
Glub glub.
Glub, glub, glub.
Mm-hmm.
Ow!
Fine art, yes.
Fine, fine. Let me grab my drink.
Hydration completion.
To the hydration station.
I just drank juice.
Nope,
Guardian,
not that.
what the fuck are you doing in the corner, bro?
My best, okay?
No, you're. Have you even looked at Guardian?
Yes.
There's three of him.
Fine art.
He's doing the human centipede.
Fine art.
Fine art!
Yeah, fine art.
Did you just fucking say the human centipede was fine art?
Yeah.
I'm dead. I'm so dead right now.
You don't think so? You don't think that the entire trilogy as a whole should be considered a fine foray into the three ultimate outcomes of such a preposterous concept, explored thoroughly and reasonably within each subgenre that it tackles?
No.
No. Fuck
Wow,
no.
y'all really did not fucking watch The Human Centipede. Okay.
No, thank you.
I'll bet you also didn't watch the Saw films. I'll bet you think that they're just torture porn. No, I don't want to hunt people.
Porn.
I watched one.
I watched the whole series.
I keep watching them all the time. I never stop, actually.
B hates when I watch them.
I'm like that guy that has only ever seen the movie Boss Baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, wow, this really reminds me of Boss Baby.
What the fuck is happening to me?
What?
Actually, I like that one. Wonder if I can just. I can. Crazy.
There's like 50 seconds left. Holy shit. Is this infected or no?
No, it's not infected.
What? Candy. Bless you.
What?
You look like Uniqua.
Like I need what?
Uniqua.
Thank you.
Y'all, I can't stand both of you.
What?
Hmm?
Not you. Guardian of B.
What's wrong with me?
I can't stand y'all.
Does that mean Candy's not gonna like my spot? Candy's not gonna like my spot.
Look at me!
Candy's just here to peruse the art, if we're being honest. Remarkable. I saw you for a second. Where'd you go? I'm really disappointed that nobody tried to put balls on this statue. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my god!
I'm really disappointed in all of you.
Imagine.
If I come in here and this statue don't have a dick, I'm gonna be pissed. Come on, guys.
It's you! It's you! It's you! It's you!
Bless you. Good golly.
Oh, that one came in spurts. Uh-oh.
I stick out a bit.
Uh-oh. It's you!
Blessings.
It's you!
Bless you.
Whoever's talking about me needs to fucking stop. They better not be.
They are.
Hey.
Hi.
Thanks, Guardian. It sucks because like my eyedropper, I can't fucking see it, so I'm just guesstimating on the color.
Look at the tip of the paintbrush. It will change colors as you go over things.
Mine
paintbrush
always
isn't
spazzes
moving.
out when I try to use it.
Just pole dancing that statue.
Yeah, don't you worry about what I'm up to, okay?
Damn.
I have my audience. They know what they're about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have my audience. They know what I'm about.
Well.
That's right. We pole dancing statues, brother. Here, look. I'll do it again. 3 for 3. That's the content they come to see. Yeah, boy. No statue is safe.
No statues say all of them must be.
The only god I see up here is me. I feel like there should be more rooms. This is tripping me out.
No, we're in the small art museum. Bow, 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 bow.
Are there any more statues? Was that all of them?
Next snap.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I can't see shit.
What's going on?
I'm just looking at the art at this point. This art has flying pants. I love the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Fresno Nightcrawler.
Gotta be one of my favorite cryptid slash genders. Everybody gangster till the pants start walking.
I guess
How
I
did I
got
get
lucky.
in? How did I get into an art museum with a firearm? I would just like to know.
Clueless! Oh my god! They put a sticker in there. Clueless.
They did.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that was cameo.
Because they were all playing at the time.
Floating pants.
Floating pants.
Floating
My specialty.
pants. I saw a butt in that picture and I was like, that don't look like it's supposed to be there.
But it does now.
Now it is just a smear on the annals of history.
See if you guys can handle this map.
Probably not.
Oh my god!
I can't see what that message says.
Candy?
Yes.
Your model's not on the screen.
What?
Your model is not on the screen.
I don't know what
Uh-oh.
happened.
Where'd you go?
I disappeared from time and space. Sometimes I just blink out of existence, guys. Don't worry about it. Wait, give me a second.
Get 100 of those.
No!
I know how much you love the Minecraft maps.
I fucking hate the Minecraft maps.
Where do we go?
I'm here. Guardian, I hate you.
Make this very, very easy.
Alright. Still? They're still at it? Where the fuck is my paintbrush?
I wish they would make The Sims multiplayer. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
For real, bro. Shit.
Make this really easy this time. Actually, at the right angle, I completely disappear.
Well,
We'll see.
I'm doomed, chat.
Wait, are you Hunter?
Yes, because this game
How'd you
hates
get
me.
it again? Welcome to Minecraft. Yep, as I said, if I'm looking at the right angle, I go completely invisible, but looking straight on.
What? What do you want? Ah, how do I climb this stupid freaking house? I don't feel like it now. I'm immediately uninterested. I'm not gonna find you no matter how many hints you give me. I'll tell you that much. This is a cute little house, actually. Hold on. They were cooking. Donde está? Do I have to figure out how to climb the outside of the house? Because I'm not gonna do it. Ugh. Ugh.
That was mad funny.
I'm just a big idiot.
Don't say that.
It is the truth. It is the facts of the matter. I just got stuck on a floor torch, brother. Oh no! It was a little morbid watching you run for your life like that.
Yeah, you shot him.
I didn't know what to do. I felt like all of those fairy tale cobblers and stuff that keep finding elves in their house. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. I wasn't expecting me to fall off that cliff either, but you know, the gods work in mysterious ways or some shit. If I can figure out how to get on this roof, it's fucking over. What? Yo! This place is sick. Oh my god. Going up these stairs is killing me.
Give you a little hint there. The one that was whistling on the roof, you already killed.
Oh, sweet.
Just a little tip.
Bro. You never think about how many nooks and crannies are in a space until you gotta look at all of them. If you're in this staircase, I'm gonna kill us both. If you're in this staircase, it's over for both of us. Bro, I cannot even see. Not Minecraft, but close. Bruh. Bro. Dude, where the fuck? Where even? You're in a place?
Yeah.
Bro. How did you even get in
like
there?
Shit. I look like shit. I didn't even paint the rest of the side of my head, bro.
Oh my god. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Nah, it looks like shit. I
Nah,
look
that's
behind
good.
you for real.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was mad funny though.
I don't think we're getting
Wait, we're
anyone
doing
else,
Minecraft again?
guys. Yeah, we're just gonna do that one again. I don't think anyone else wants to join us.
Little kitty.
Who is the seeker?
I believe it's guard.
Candy, you hiding?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is guardian.
Whatever can I get away with? It's alright. Go.
Oh shit! Let me start painting right now. Who the fuck said that? Hijo de gran. You know what? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Let's just face it. I'm dying.
Are you okay?
That was a really bad idea. I'll tell you that much. Fuck it. Fuck it, we ball. We stay as is. Idiot. Why would. Oh my god! Candy! I'm crying, bro.
You should be crying under the circumstances.
You should see mine.
No, I saw yours. That's why I said you should be crying.
Yeah, it should be.
Bunny is preposterous in everything that she does.
That's what I'm
I
saying,
don't know
bro.
what you're talking about.
Oh my god, bro.
Why am I not getting the colors? Oh.
You had a great run.
I did.
You had an absolutely legendary run.
Yeah. This is crazy.
This is absolute madness, if I'm real.
She's still adding stuff to it, bro.
I know! What the fuck?
Good enough.
Oh my god.
I'll work on the wood a little bit more, but I'll be fine. The view is great. Look at that. I could just see the blue sky.
All I can see is your ass.
Well, I was talking about the window, but yeah.
Excuse me.
And we find guard over here in the trees. Looking shiny as always.
Shiny and
He's always
determined.
fucking metallic, bro. There's an eye in the back of his head. The eye is Sauron. And then under his feet are blue too. Bro.
Oh? I don't know. The whistle might have given me away.
May have.
Checking out the window. You'll never know, though. You'll never know.
They'll never find out. They'll never suspect.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Splash. No, ankle's broken. They didn't make it to the water.
In the arms of the angel.
Oh.
Fly away. There's no way.
Take all your sticks
Oh
and
my
stones.
god, bro.
This is ridiculous.
Miracles. Yeah, he's gotta come inside first.
Yo.
No, no, looking so cynical. If I let it go, oh, 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 oh. The mouse is gonna burn
this city.
Sorry.
I'm glad you got that out.
Fuck's gotten into me. Bro.
There's no way.
He finally found you, bro. I'm fucking crying, bro.
I'm sweating.
Well, I made them waste all that time. There's no more whistles left.
There's no more whistles left. You're safe, bro.
Bruh, I'm sweating like a pig mask in a saw trap.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. The teasing whistle.
Sticks and stones turning into miracle. No, oh.
Yippee! I stayed in the same place the whole time too. I didn't move. Ugh.
Guardian's coming to see you.
Come, bask in my glory.
Just having a happy little sit down over there.
Yep, right on the roof where no one can see me.
You know what?
Oh, this is hell, man.
Are we doing Minecraft again?
Nope.
Oh. Oh, please. Please, 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 no, 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 please, no, 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 please, no, 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 please, no, 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 please, no, no, no. Oh, okay.
Definitely. We sit in the center and actually go hunt us.
No, 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 no.
It's only fair.
Wait. I didn't want to do it for this one because I had a reason.
It's a one. DQ got 3 new blizzards. Try to remember the flavor of one of them.
Why the fuck is it in black and white?
Because Bunny hates us.
This off. Time to put my vision to the test.
No, no!
Uh-oh. 20 seconds.
There we go. No, 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 no! Stop, stop, stop! Stop! I'm not even gonna play with it. I'm done. I'm dead. I'm dead! Ah! Oh, I'm good, I'm good. I'm good, I'm actually good, I'm actually good.
Wherever will I find you all?
Yeah, whatever. Good enough.
Guardian said something too, bro.
I'm really glad.
I'm
I'm really glad
too.
that somebody did it.
You reminded me.
I'm really glad that somebody did it.
Why?
Somebody had to
Why?
put balls on his statue.
Guardian, you are an absolute fucking menace, bro.
I know. What the fuck is that? I didn't even know you could do that.
Apparently you can. Oh my god.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're mad annoying. How did you even see me at the beginning, bro?
I don't know.
Damn! Damn!
Bunny's a cold cut killer.
Damn, Guardian, I guess your spot wasn't as good as I thought. Fuck. Sorry.
Now it's determining which side of the map Candy is on.
Good question. Candy doesn't even know.
I stand here and listen.
You know how to make that spot better next time? Bro, this is in black and white. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Miss Khalifa. If only I... Can I still taunt even though I'm dead? No, I can't. Get that out of my face right now!
You're either in the kitchen or on this side of the map.
I'm not doing all that. I'm not. We're not going that route. Fuck you. Damn.
That's a very adorable little door. I only came up here because I like to hide up here with the cactuses.
Oh,
That's one of my
Guardian, you like
spots.
my
I was
spot?
whistling at you for such a long time, but you were too far away to hear me.
Yep.
Guardian, you like
There
my
is a
spot
certain
for real?
distance for the whistles to be heard.
How did you find me?
Me?
Yeah.
Because I just knew exactly what Candy was talking about. And I looked at the other statue already.
You're a fucking dick.
Well, technically, you were the dick.
I was.
And
Where the
balls.
dick?
So,
No.
Bunny changed it so that everything was black and white.
No!
Oh, yeah,
No.
this is great. Aw.
No, not pixelated. I die.
You don't want pixels? What map do you want? You know what we should do?
What?
Hold hands.
This is what we should do.
Oh my god.
You like it? You like? You like?
This is great.
Oh, you want to do P? We can do that one next.
All right, let's color.
Alright, this map's kinda small, love.
Both of your streams are open, and I'm not looking.
I don't believe you. I just fell.
I'm not looking for real. I don't even know what map this is. Damn, I'm shiny. I'm so shiny.
You know what?
God
I will.
damn! Why am I shiny?
Revert to my
God
default.
damn. I'm mad shiny. For why? Like, okay, let's.
My default positioning.
I'm so good at color matching by sight, dude. Guardian, you're a fucking troll. Anyway. Dwee, this certainly is a look for you.
You like it?
I think it's great. I think you should look like this all the time.
For real?
Yes. Oh, my little kitty. Oh, he wants to be a part of it. He wants to be included.
Hell yeah, my ass cheeks hang low.
They sure do. You got a saggy ass butt. Do some squats. Damn.
It's a big booty. I don't know what to tell you.
Excuse me, game. Please grab other colors.
Bunny, you're freaking hilarious.
The dweeb is here. I got plenty of time though. Till the dweeb comes to my side of the map. Clearly plenty of time till dweeb comes to my side of the map.
Dimitri, would you like to say hello to chat? No? You just want to demand more kisses? More pets?
Oh my fucking.
Good God, Dewey.
Listen,
Here, stinky baby. You want some catnip?
I'm not the brightest
Me neither.
bush in the shed. Oh god.
The smartest bush in the shed, brother?
Dude, I'm thinking about bushes for some reason.
Alright, on 3, we all whistle at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I mean, it won't matter. I'm directionally challenged anyway.
Good for you.
I can't fucking stand you. Good for you.
Good for you. I'm so happy for you, Dwee. Can you find Waldo?
Waldick.
That too.
He's on my hear me out list.
I don't blame you. I don't like how much your butt separates when you walk. That's disturbing.
Why are you about booty, bro?
How can you not? It's just there. It's just out there, man.
Very distinct.
Waldick
is just another name for glory hole. No!
I don't trust Waldick.
Bro.
I don't trust Waldick. 0% trust.
That might be the one you need to go for. You remember where you saw that?
No, I wasn't paying attention to the numbers going up. I have 5 bullets. For what? I'll shoot 4. The last one's for me.
What?
It's not good. I think I look terrible.
Terrible my ass. I haven't even found y'all.
I'm just watching my cat eat catnip straight out of the freaking tub right now.
Doing it.
He's going crazy in the paint.
Is he good?
He's going crazy in the paint. He's munching away. Dimitri, do you have anything you wish to share with us? Not a thought behind those eyes.
He's like, fuck no.
He's like, I'm feeling good, brother.
Damn, I'm itchy, bro. Hold on a minute.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
I have to go to work.
Hold on.
The way.
I keep fucking falling off this disastrous ass map, bro. You know what? Hold on. Uh-oh.
Do we?
You saw that shit, right?
I did.
Hi, bestie. I just like that map for following someone. Yeah, so do I. Damn. I haven't even seen y'all again. That's the
You've
difference.
clearly seen me.
I said again.
You've seen Bunny a lot.
Fuck. Where? And when?
Getting warmer. Warmer. Warmer.
Nobody saw your shots like that.
I keep forgetting that. Why don't I have unlimited ammo?
I should put unlimited ammo on for you.
Where the hell?
You're getting colder. Warmer.
Where? Are we dead ass? I looked at the staging, bro. I looked right at it.
That's what we were saying.
I literally looked right at it. Where's the rest of y'all? Up there. Hey, y'all. You know what? I've circled over there at least a couple times. And
You
y'all
did not
saw
lay eyes on me hardly at all.
That's mad crazy, bro.
I did too good. I hid too well.
Free to join us.
Yeah!
Best
All right, Dimitri, you've had enough drugs.
Oh. You're being restrained from the drugs.
Yeah, that's enough drugs for you, little man.
Drug the cat? No, the cat's drugging itself currently.
Bro, what are we doing?
Grandpa found a rod.
What?
Grandpa found the rod.
Grandma got run over by
Uh.
a reindeer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know what? We can revisit another map, right?
Which one? Ah! Why was it pixelated all of a sudden? I literally just got home from work. I want to relax. No worries. You can watch with us. You can just be our lovely spectator. Yeah. The pixelation, I'm hating it already.
Oh, yeah? To help you blend in a little bit. Oh, man, this... We're back with them
I'm
old
gonna
arcade
get
games,
you.
guys. What are
I'm
you
gonna
doing?
get you. No!
Oh, you really gonna get us now.
I don't want this.
But you want this.
But I
La la
don't.
la 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 la. What the fuck is wrong with me, bro?
Nothing. You're so real and valid.
What? I got a spot for you, Candy.
It's like I'm seeing without my glasses. That is so fucking real, bro. I need me some glasses.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I understand the assignment.
Do you?
You'll see.
Will I?
Maybe. I can only hope that my artistic vision comes through.
What the fuck?
I'm tempted. I'm very tempted to try. I'm seeing without my glasses. What? Oh, I will make it difficult. Oh, yeah? Do we?
Yeah. Who the fuck is that? I'm fucking dead.
Who's
Who
what?
is this? Who is this? B. Oh my god, bro.
Isn't it great?
No.
Oh.
Wait, I wasn't done! Aw, man, I wasn't done. Hold on.
You can still hit F and continue.
There we go.
Squidward cheeked up?
SpongeBob! The fuck is that?
Oh, I
It's
like
the
your
Doodle
hat.
Bob.
Thank you. I
You
feel
didn't get
like...
under your arms.
I know. It was hard to see.
That's another Doodle Bob.
I feel like I'm in an analog horror game.
Exactly. The horror's for us. You're just hunting us. Welcome to the Coral Reefs.
Under the sea.
Under the sea. God damn it. Candy, why the fuck do you do this to me?
What do you mean?
First
Under the
whistle.
sea.
I can't hear
Where's
you.
this? What's happening?
Ugh. What am I stuck on? Get me out of here.
The kelp. A Diet Dr. Kelp.
My diet, Dr. Kelp. Bruh, I can't see shit.
You don't line up all that well. Oh no. Candy found the bald spot.
Bald, bald, bald. Ah!
Anyone inside? Knock knock. You've only seen Dewey.
I've only seen Dewey.
Well, you haven't been to half the map, so that
I
kinda makes
know,
sense.
this map is huge. I should kill you on principle.
It should just happen.
I should have just hit your ass on sight. What was that, Peter? You want to say it loud enough for the stream to hear you?
Who the fuck? Oh my god. Hey, Guardian, you scared the absolute fuck out of me, bro.
Bro, what in the his it?
Bro, I've been sitting there for so long. Oh my god. You just sit there where I really was.
Whoa, wait! Ah, no! Son of a bitch. Ho.
Right in the legs, I should have jumped. We're sitting here, watching Candy Cheeks.
Everyone's favorite show.
Come on, Squidward, throw it back, flip it and reverse it.
Flip it and reverse it. Flip it and reverse it. It's a birthday. Make a birthday.
Bro, come on.
That's the sound of Squidward
Let me
throwing
up.
it back.
Let me up. The movement is destroying me.
Well, there's a barrier up there that you can't go past.
Lame.
Ooh, I'm finished. Ooh.
What's the tism, my lord?
Bro.
This is crazy, bro.
I really could not get back here, bro.
Well, we're not back there.
I'm fucking. Oh my god.
I was close. I was just on the wrong floor. I'll take it.
All right, let's get this analog horror off.
Yeah, I think it's making me motion sick.
The
Pop.
pixels?
Yeah, either
Yeah,
the pixels or the game itself, because I am prone to motion sickness
Why
in
the
video
fuck are we
games.
playing a CS2 map, bro?
I don't know, just throwing up all the maps I got.
Is there a way for me to spectate real quick for a round?
Oh, what you gotta do? You gotta go do something.
I mean, yes, but you'd still be stuck sitting in the game.
Okay. I'll do
Just
that
wait for the
because
hunter to come kill
yeah,
you and you just sit
yeah.
protecting people.
The motion sickness is getting grody.
Just sit back, relax.
No.
Or be the hunter.
That's crazy.
I don't I can't because of the motion sickness. Like I'm going to throw up.
You know what? I'll just stay right here for you.
I'm sorry, I have to disconnect real quick because I cannot.
Alright, fine.
Yeah.
You want the three of us to do P?
Pete!
Ugh, I am sorry. This is why I struggle to play Minecraft. After a while, it just starts messing with my motion sickness. Blech. I need to stop moving in this game.
Should we just play a different game?
I should
You
be
guys wanna
okay
play
in a little while.
Bomb Banana?
What the fuck is that?
It's only a demo right now. But it's the monkeys trying to defuse the bomb.
Oh!
Hear no evil, see no
I know
evil.
that game.
Speak no evil.
I know that game. I saw Red Six Droid and fucking played that shit.
You guys want to try it? There's not a lot of movement in that game.
Okay.
It's bomb. banana type of thing, but it's all one word. BOMBANANA.
Is it on
free
s-
demo right now on
Okay.
Steam.
Hold on. It was spelled.
We'll just do that for a little bit.
I go into the search bar. One of the free searches I get is Mega Boost.
Yeah, Mega Bomb, if you know that game at all. Don't forget to keep on Bomb. BOMBANAN. Yep. Free demo. Should be a real quick download.
Goodbye, Meccha Chameleon. Party at the beach down in Copacabana. Got my black yoga pants on. Down in Atlanta. Y puede más.
So I can do a couple rounds of this, and then I gotta go to bed.
Okay.
Who wants to be Witch Monkey? Oh, we got a talking game too.
Oh yeah.
God.
And you might need to swap your mics.
No.
Drew, tell me what you
Jesus Christ.
do.
I think Candy needs to swap which mic just auto de facto started on this.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Don't tell me what to do.
I will. Right here. Okie dokie.
What is it? What are they selling?
So level 1. We're gonna have to cut some wires, defuse the bomb.
Seems reasonable.
From Dewey, I'm going to need how many wires and what color a light will be. Oh no, from Candy, I'll need that info.
Oh, okay.
Unless, Dewey, do you want to be the guide?
I don't fucking know.
Be the blind monkey. You're gonna cut the wire.
Oh. I'm gonna make us explode.
Excellent. That's what I signed up for.
So you have to look at what's in front of Dewey and relay me the information so I can try to guide you on what to do.
Well, I
Without
can't
speaking to
hear.
you. I can't speak to you,
This is
but
gonna
I can
be
hear what Dewey
interesting.
says. You gotta ready up, love?
Dwee, that's you.
I know.
You unreadied up.
Okay. First, we have, starting from the left, green, red, blue, then yellow. Dwee, you are now touching the stop. You're on the green. Now you're on the red. Now you're on the blue. Now you're on the yellow. The bomb from the top going down has a yellow, a green, and a blue wire. Am I supposed to tell Dwee to cut the red wire? No. The green wire. No. The blue wire. No. So the yellow wire. No. Am I supposed to tell Dwee to press this? Roll it back? I I don't.
I need the light. The color light that was on there too.
Oh, I forgot about the
There's
light.
wires and a light.
I'm sorry. I'm done. I told you
Try
I would
again,
fail us. I told you I would fail us.
It only gets harder from here.
Great. I'm so happy.
So, how many wires and then the light color. And
Okay.
then read off what wires where.
So all of the wire information and the light information.
Well, the amount of wires will tell me on the book I'm holding will tell me which set to look at, and then the light will tell me which one, and then I have to give you a number for Dewey to cut.
Okay.
All right, you guys got to ready up again. We got this. We got this.
All right. We have 3 wires. Do we stop? Okay, a little more to your left. Your other left. Too far. Right there. That's the blue one. We've got a red light, by the way. To your right. That's the yellow one. And to the right of that is the green one. Cut the... Okay, I need you to go right a little bit more to your left. No. A little bit more. Little more. There you go. Cut that one.
That's it.
You guys just beat level 1.
Yay!
Very good.
This is
Level
gonna
2.
be heinous. I already know.
So it's gonna add in another device for us to figure out.
I'm gonna
This is
throw
where
a brick.
Dwee's gonna have to start talking too. I believe this one has Braille on it. So Candy, you're gonna see dots. You don't need to tell me that. Dwee needs to tell me the dots because it's gonna be a number hidden there.
I see.
So I believe this is going to be directionals, and then Braille, and then you're gonna have to tell me the color of the light again.
Okay.
What the fuck are you petting my chair for?
Because you're
Oh.
so unreadied.
All right. First things first. Our weird doohickey has a green light, and our wires have a red light. You're on the doohickey. Okay, you're on the doohickey. That's an arrow. There's the braille. What is this? What does the braille say? We have a yellow, blue, green, and red wire in that order. You're currently touching the blue wire. A little to your left, yellow. Red light and green light. Green light on device, red light on the wires. There's 4 wires. Yellow, blue, green, red. All right, to your right, Dewey. One more. Cut it. We've got one more red light. Me. What do I need to do? Oh, the yellow? Red? I didn't
We're
know what was
saying
happening.
left.
Oh.
So that is a directional pad. You tell me the color, Dewey tells me the number, and then I have to point in a certain direction. So she
Okay.
clicks that direction.
Well, damn. I'm sorry.
Just a couple attempts, we'll get it.
I'm not a smart woman.
We can swap up the roles if you want.
It's up to you guys. What do you want to do?
Dewey,
I don't know. Whatever y'all want to do.
I feel like we make Dewey the mute monkey.
Dwee's
want
doing
me-
a good job.
Do you want me to guide while you be the blind monkey?
That would be fun. I will kill us all. Don't worry.
Perfect. Okay, my lovely. Pick up the bottom one, and you're gonna look at the wires, okay? So you want the bottom box of wires, the 4. And it's got a green light. Number order yellow 1, blue is 2, red is 3, and green is 4. The green light should show you which one to cut. If you hit E, you can hit a number. Hold the number for the corresponding color. 3, so we want the red one. So come over to the wires. You're gonna have to zoom in, or, yep, okay. Nope, come down to this one, and you want the 3rd wire. Yep, that one. Okay. There it, so flip the page on there. You see the directional pad? Okay. So we got a red light and whatever number Candy says.
4.
Hit E and then do the monkey hand and point in the direction for me. Nope, that's a thumbs up. Wrong one. Up, down, left, or right. Red light. No, not that. Don't flip me off. Up, down, left, right. We got a red with whatever number Candy says.
4.
Left? Okay.
Right as I clicked it.
It was up, bro.
Up? Why weren't you looking up or pointing up?
I was pointing up, bro. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. No, there's a point. You point your finger.
How the fuck do you point your finger? You said use the emote.
Yeah, emote. You can point your finger. I think it's the bottom left side. There's a finger point. You can point in the direction. Try it again.
Fuck is wrong?
Did
Listen,
wires
bro,
nice and
I just
easily.
work
Very
here.
good. I just work
I
here.
just work here.
Got it ready up again, love.
I swear to God. I'm ready.
Okay, wires first. So, yep, that pad. We have 3 wires with a yellow light. Red is 1. Blue is 2. Green is 3. Yellow light. I think that's yellow. Two. Candy up to the wires. Yep, that middle one. No? Is it a green light? Is that a green light? Do you have one for a green light? Red or green? Red is 1, green is 3.
Which is it?
Yep, that one, Candy. What color is that?
Anyway, the number is 6.
Saving that. I don't know what the fucking color that is. What was the red wire? Oh, never mind. You can't say. Never mind. I don't know what color that is. Yellow, green. Fuck. I don't know what fucking color that is.
Chartreuse.
I failed this. I failed this one. Hold on. What fucking color is this? I'm sending this in the chat. The chat of this call. I'm sending that. What fucking color is that? Because I said yellow and green. They're both wrong.
Maybe it's blue.
The color is blue.
In the chat of the call we're having right now.
It's blue.
That's blue?
Let's see.
We done picked the colorblind monkey. What were we thinking?
What fucking color is that?
It looks like yellow.
That's what I said and it was wrong.
Oh, because there's only yellow, red, green, and blue.
And the blue one was correct? Huh?
I don't know what just happened. Again, I just work here.
I need another chance at this. The colors lied to me.
I believe you.
Did yellow first, it was wrong. Then I said, okay, it might be green, and I'm just seeing shit wrong. And that was wrong too.
I don't think the colors know what they are.
Which if I was wrong for both of those, then the same color was on the directional pad too. No way I'm getting that.
Mouth wide open. Mouth wide open. Mouth wide
Candy,
open. Like I was
need
at
to
the
ready
dentist.
up.
Oh shoot, it's my turn.
Okay. Oh no. No, that's yellow. Definitely yellow. Wires. Yellow light. Red 1. Oh, 4 wires. 4 wires, yellow light. Red 1. Yellow 2. Blue 3. And green 4. Okay. There's 4 wires with a yellow light. Red in the first one. Red is 1. Yellow is 2. Blue is 3. And green is 4. 3. Cut that third wire. Yay! It was yellow. Whatever number Candy says with a green light.
Number 1.
We're on the directional pad. Left. Hit left.
That's right.
Nice.
5.
We have a blue light now. Up. Nice.
1.
Yellow light. Down. Down.
3.
Blue light. Up again. Yeah.
We are
26
champions.
seconds to spare.
Oh my god, bro. Do it again.
We're champions.
Got it. Got it. We got it, bro.
That the lights lied to me now. I see how it is.
How are the lights gonna lie to us? That's so unfair.
Saw you ready up, Candy, and then unready up.
I didn't know if we wanted to switch roles again or if we were just gonna keep going.
Do level 3. We'll do this one more time. If we fail, we should swap up again.
Okay.
Which we definitely will.
Yippee!
Let's do wires first. So, yep. We have a blue... Oh, wait. Blue light, 4 wires. Green, 1. Blue, 2. Yellow, 3. Red, 4. Cut the 4th wire.
Incorrect.
Nope, that was wrong. Blue light, 4 wires. Green, 1. Blue, 2. Yellow, 3. And then red was wrong, so. 3rd wire. There
Correct.
you go. All right.
Oh
So
god.
now, don't worry too much yet, Candy. Look for the one that has like the calculator on it. Yep. Okay. All right. Candy, I'm gonna need you to type 87 into that. Nice. It is an odd number with a yellow light. What number do we need to hit? Is that... Look up real quick. Oh, do it one more time. Your hands are behind the book. Is that a 7? Hit number 7. Very
Yay!
nice.
Dude, it said 07. And I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to do 0? There's 10.
7 just means 7, love. Very good.
We got
That-
this.
That one's the easier one. Wait until we get to one that's like switches. Do you guys
Uh.
want to swap roles now?
I'm up for whatever, man.
We slap Candy behind the books.
Oh, that's a bad idea, probably. But I'm down for
Get
whatever. I'll try anything once.
Get behind the book.
Let's go.
So, I believe... I don't know what we got.
How do I do
But
the
we'll start
emotes again before I start?
You hit E, and then
Okay.
there'll be a circle that pops up. One half will be numbers, the other half will be gestures. You can do the point, thumbs up, middle fingers. You can rotate your fingers around each other. That usually just means repeat yourself.
Okay.
And then there's like pages in the book that they'll be all labeled wires, directional pad, calculator, or something.
Right.
Just give it a whirl.
Ooh.
Oh, everything went dark.
Okay.
All right. We have 4 wires.
Okay.
We got a green light. And we have, yeah, like I said, 4 wires. We got a blue one as number 1, red as number 2, green as number 3, and yellow as number 4. Which one do we need to cut?
Uh.
3rd wire. Incorrect. Alright, run it back. Alright, it's blue wire number 1, red wire number 2, yellow wire number 4. The green was the 3rd one, but there's a green light.
What?
It's great.
I don't understand.
The 2nd wire.
Okay.
Alright, that's good. Alright, so there is a number pad
with numbers. There's like like a calculation one, but there's also the one with the arrows.
Oh
The one with
shit.
the arrows has a blue light
Blue light.
And number 9.
and number 9. Right. Incorrect. Left. There's a green light. Shit,
And a
did I say
number
that?
6.
You're dead.
Damn it.
You don't
Uh,
even hear the explosion.
Yeah, I didn't know how to read that codex there for a minute, and then I accidentally told you the direction for me instead of the direction for you. I forgot to mirror it in my head. I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
It's all good. Give it another whirl.
I was so
Give it
dumb.
another testy do, another try why. I'll do one more and then I should go to bed.
Okay, fair.
Take my little hand and I honk the Dwee's nose.
What the hell are you on about?
Nothing. Oh, apparently me and you gotta ready up to get candy.
Oh,
All right.
Hello!
We got a set of 3 wires.
okay.
The first wire is yellow. The second wire is blue. The third is green. And the light is green. The second wire. Incorrect.
Ah!
No? Run it back. Yellow and green. The first and the third wire. Yellow's the first one, green is the third one with the green light. The first wire. The first wire. Yes, there you go. Okay. So we have a calculation board. What the fuck? Is there a light on that? Okay, it says 58 plus 20. There's a red light.
Even.
Even. Even Steven. 5. Alright. So the last one, we got a yellow light. We got the one
Number
with the arrows.
9.
Number 7. Number 7? Wait, what arrow do we need to press?
Oh!
We're on the directional pad.
Okay, it was
I said number 7 so happily. I said number 7
I didn't
so
realize that
happily.
I thought that we had to type in another number. I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
Nope.
You're fine.
So the calculator is a math problem that we do. The answer we get, we type that in. It will, when we're correct, it will show a light. We say if that number was even or odd, and that is done.
Okay.
Even or odd with the light will give you a number that you tell us, and that's it. That one's done.
Okay.
All right. I do have to go to bed though. But
I
I'd love to try to.
understandable.
We got to level 4 out of 7 for the demo.
Okay,
I'd love
well,
to
this was
continue
fun.
trying this.
Yeah, we need to do this again.
Yes.
I forgot that we were in
Yeah.
yeah, that's not fun, bro. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
That
You
was
guys are
really
gonna
fun.
continue on.
I mean, does Candy want to continue on?
I don't know. I need to check my work schedule again. Because they changed it on me last minute. Oh, I gotta go to work at 9 a.m. I should probably go to bed too. Well,
Okie dokie then.
sorry.
I gotta go to bed for work. I wasn't expecting it to take that long. So, to all of you, I guess I'll see you for the next week of streams.
Yee! I can finally play Dead by Daylight again, guys, so you know what that
Adios.
means.
Have a good one. Good day, good night, good evening. Enjoy this person.
Huh? Who the fuck raided it to me? Oh, hi, B. Thank you so much for the raid. You scared the shit out of me. But welcome on in, everybody. For those who don't know me, hi. I am Dewey. I'm your bartender, Nicole Bean. We vibing with the candy and the bee. But B is going to bed. We're just chilling. You know, we're chillaxing. We just got finished playing Banana. Bananarama. Yeah, that, I'll say it like that. Bananarama.
All right. Nighty night to you both.
Night night, Bun Bun.
Candy's still muted.
Candy, yeah, you're muted, bro.
You've been
It's
muted
okay, you're
this
fine.
entire time.
Don't say that.
Night
No.
night. We'll have to plan a stream where we try to be Bamanana.
I'm down and a half, honestly. That was really
Me
fun.
too. It was.
It's very
Yes.
cute and just puzzles.
Well, we need to put it in our schedule tomorrow. Like incorporate it. We just need to talk
We
about
can
it
do that.
tomorrow.
Right.
Absolutely.
Night.
And also, the earlier you guys can give me the schedules, the better, because I have to be at work early tomorrow.
Oh shit.
I'll think of mine
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
I mean, I don't
Night
even think about
night.
it.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, I gotta figure. I don't know. I gotta figure out who I gotta raid because I also have to wake up early. I just looked at my. So my boss put out the schedule today, and she did it completely wrong. So she was like, "Ignore the schedule, guys. I have to put out a different one." And then she only put out like the new one just recently. What a
Damn.
monster!
What a monster indeed, for real.
What a monster! And she's got me working 2 days in a
Fucked up.
row. How could she
Oh.
do this to me? Wah. I need to find an ibuprofen. Did you want to keep streaming, Dewey?
I was probably gonna raid out too.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, 'cause if you're gonna keep going, I'll just raid you.
Cause I am hungry and I wanna eat something. I was distracted because I was looking at Pezzy's new plush and I'm mad because I want it.
Prismarine is streaming. Prismarina.
Who is that?
Me and Patty do collabs with her all the time.
I do not know who that is.
The jellyfish one. I did a meme drawing of her with like the fish eyes.
Am I just like I guess I suck. Yeah. Your background looks pretty cool. Yeah. Like where the fuck did you get this?
Oh, this is a plugin. I sent it to Bunny. I can send it to you too.
Oh hell yeah, brother.
I've been using it to record stuff to possibly make a promo video for my like real debut. And it's just an OBS plugin.
No,
And then you apply it as a filter.
Didn't I show you I sent you the ones with the other lighting.
Yeah, I
the
saw
like,
those.
volume and stuff.
Those ones you do in VTube Studio. This one you just do in OBS, and it's pretty cool. Hold on, let me show you some of the fun things that it can do before we go. Beep beep beep. So we can make the billboard bigger or smaller. We can make the LEDs bigger or smaller.
Cool. Oh, so
We
it's
can
just
move the
like
image. We can change the lighting.
that's actually very interesting. I like that.
We can change the backlighting. We can change the lights that fall in the front. And then we can make the camera shaky. Cause we're idols, do we remember? Remember Monstars? Remember Monstars? When we all start when we started a K-pop group for all of 30 minutes.
Oh, that's what our group name should have been. Monstars.
Well, we're not all monsters. It's just me and two animal people.
Hey, we're considered. Listen, we're
You're
somewhat considered.
you're
monsters, so-
considered furries, aren't
Furries.
you?
We're not human completely.
You guys are what are the people call what are the like the weird the role players call it hybrids. You guys are hybrids. You guys are hybrid shifters.
Oh my god.
You guys are
shifters.
yeah, y'all a couple of hybrid shifters. I'm a real monster. We ain't the same. I'm built different.
I cry.
I love this background though. Isn't this so fun?
It is.
Doesn't it just make you feel like the coolest person in the world?
It does look really good though.
Isn't it cool? I'm so happy I found it and it's completely free.
Almost definitely put that into my OBS.
Yeah. Let me get the link for you.
I thought you already sent it to me.
Did I? I know I sent it to Bunny. I don't remember if I sent it to you because I think I was busy staring at Prism. No, I don't think so. Hold on. I'm gonna forward it to you. There you go.
Yeah, 9. Oh. Unless you just sent it right now. But, oh, you sent me Prismina's thing. I opened up her stream.